My name is Carly Wilkerson, and I'm a sophomore studying CEM at Purdue University. Over the summer, I had my internship with F.A. Wilhelm Construction. I was downtown Indianapolis working on their IUH Health Hospital project. The project was a joint venture between F.A. Wilhelm Construction and Gilbane Building Company. We were on a GMP contract at $2.1 billion, but it could potentially be adjusted higher as the project goes on. We also must meet a LEED requirement of silver, but the project is currently on track for gold and could potentially reach platinum by completion. The project scale. It is currently the largest healthcare project in the nation, and it has a total of 864 patient rooms. It is 16 stories high, with 8 stories of podium and 8 stories of patient rooms. The podium rooms are mostly offices, but will also contain 50 operating rooms, 20 of which are fully functional and ready for 24/7 available use. There are also 2 helicopter pads on the roof, and there is a tunnel in the basement for which robots and people can deliver things from their south location to this hospital. Team information. The construction management team was over 50 people, divided amongst interiors, MEP, structural, safety, and the QA/QC team who I mostly worked with over the summer. On the site, there were about 200 people working a day, but when the site is at full peak operation, there will be 1,500 people out working a day. The current phase. When I reached the project, we were doing our concrete superstructure phase, which is set to complete in late spring of 2025. When I first got there, they were working on the second floor and just starting it. But as I was leaving, they were just starting the 4th floor, which means that we completed half of the 2nd floor, a 4th of the 3rd floor, and we were beginning to plan for the 4th floor. These floors consisted mainly of deck pours of the concrete, setting rebar, pans, and also lifting the elevator shafts with the doka walls as we poured concrete. There were 2 different types of innovative concrete used on this project that were very technologically advanced. The first was ashcrete, which contained a carbon-neutral substitute for Portland cement that was used in most of our deck pours. And then second was a high-density concrete used for the LINAC walls in the radiation rooms in the basement. This concrete contained small metal BBs that would allow for the radiation to be contained in one area. Bringing this project from concept to reality. We had a BIM model that displayed the drawings and plans in a 3D view, which allowed us to get a good idea as to where our progress was and where it could continue to grow and change. We also used Drone Deploy, which took pictures of our project outside almost every day, and we could overlay the BIM model onto these Drone Deploy drawings. We also had a visual mock-up, the VMU, which is where we could take samples and put them outside for the architects to decide on what the exterior of the project should start to look like. My biggest success. My biggest success was definitely creating pour maps, which is what you will see above. When I first got to the project, this is something that I was immediately undertaken with. I had to look at all of the drawings and understand how they would connect, since the pour maps contained their walls that would be poured and the decks, along with columns and a few curves. It was also important to identify where their embeds would be placed in these deck pours. This map would be sent to most of the construction team for use, and so it was a lot of pressure. But as time went on and I made a new one each week, I realized exactly who I should be talking to, who it was most important to, and what they would need identified, and who I should talk to about the schedules changing, because the online schedule would not always be accurate. A greatest challenge that I experienced over this summer was adjusting to using multiple softwares at a time, such as Bluebeam, Procore, Hoilu for our schedule, OpenSpace, and Drone Deploy. Learning how each of these worked and how I could best utilize them to produce the high-quality work was definitely something that was a huge challenge, but took multiple practices over the summer and is something that I would definitely like to gain more experience in. A lesson that I learned from each of these is that organization is extremely important while you're working, and that communication can be everything. You never know who is needing your work, and so it is important to communicate with who you are working with to ensure that your work is accurate and that is exactly what they want. One thing I wish that I knew when I first got to the project is specifically which documents I should be looking at in order to learn about the project. When I went to the pre-bid matchmaking session, I realized that I had access to documents such as the workforce agreement that would allow me to read up on the specific details that the owner wanted. A memorable moment that I definitely enjoyed was the pre-bid matchmaking session, which is where we went, and it was basically a meet and greet for small businesses to join together in order to get subcontracted onto our project. This helped us meet our XPE agreement of 30% and IU's goal of 50% small business inclusion. I also got to go to our concrete trailer and experience what the cylinder compaction brake test looked like, which were extremely cool because the different types of concrete would break at different PSIs. I also enjoyed delivering materials to the VMU for the architect to be able to use, and I enjoyed seeing how his decision-making process related to what IUH wanted. Thank you.